Ta-da! Okay. Hi, everyone. How are we doing? What is going on? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Ooh, your first live stream. Welcome. Welcome, 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 everyone. Welcome, Phil's Violet. Welcome, Twixie Shores. Welcome, Nikki. Welcome, Faye. Welcome, Tyler. Welcome, Jace. Welcome, Rom. Welcome, Alexandria. Welcome, Amy. Welcome, Rob. Welcome, Ember. Welcome, Audrey and Marie and Cassetto Kaiba and Anon and Steve and Christina and Big Draft Victor Vay the 411 and Roger and Amber and Jimmy and Kitty and Naturalite and everyone and Lookazoo. Welcome, welcome, Mindless Peace. Welcome, everyone. So glad you could be here. So glad you could make it. How are y'all doing? Oh, I gotta turn on my necklace. My roommate was like, I bought these for my family. Do you want to try them for your stream? And I was like, okay, that's a seizure warning right there. Can I have this be solid color? There we go. That's better. It's like I matched it's like, this is how you do bondage with lights, everyone. You just, am I doing BDSM now? No, okay. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? You guys see all the bondage photos every year that are people like, I have a really unique idea no one else has done before. What if I, and this is crazy, got tied up with lights? I know no one's done it before. It's crazy. No one's done it. It's crazy. But yeah. Anyways, hi, we're here. We got the lights. We got the snow. I apologize. No music this time because the no copyright lo-fi music I used last time, I got hit with like 5 copyright notices because of that. And so no Christmas music this time. So sorry. I know, big disappointment. We all loved lo-fi Feliz Navidad. We're just gonna have to make do without lo-fi Feliz Navidad this time. We're gonna have to muddle through it somehow, all right? Oh yeah, you guys like my Sally? You guys like my Sally sweater? I like wear this all the time because I only own 2 crew neck sweaters and they're so comfortable. And anyway, so that's what I feel like the lights actually go like really well with this for some reason, but that's what we're doing. Yes, I'm so glad I got to borrow this. This is fun. We watched 2 different versions of A Christmas Carol earlier today. It was so fun. And it's supposed to be freezing rain still. But like last night, it hasn't started yet. And it makes me nervous that it hasn't started yet. And I don't know when that's going to happen. We haven't lost power. I don't want to jinx anything. I feel like we're through the worst of it at this point, but honestly, who knows? Oh, I also painted my nails like Christmas colors. What do you guys think? I did this when we were watching the movie. It actually turned out like better than I was expecting. I didn't have like a really good like Christmas green color, but I actually like sort of the way that it turned out a little bit more like muted and olivey. I feel like it looks all right. Because I don't know. I got this by the way, if you're wondering where I got this at Target like 2 years ago. So I don't know if they still make this. I got this. I wasn't even really looking for Nightmare Before Christmas stuff on purpose. I was looking for any kind of Christmas sweater at all. Just anything seasonal to wear for just like the season. And this was like the only thing that came in my size still. This may even be like a children's extra large. I'm not sure. Because I think there was one that had, I think it was this one, and then there was one that had Jack Skellington on it. And I know that one of them was like technically a child size, and this is either a woman's small or a child's like extra, extra large. And I don't know which one of the 2 it is. Thank you. Normally I've had a lot of problems recently painting my nails at home with the nails not actually like setting properly. But these actually like, I think I have like one little bit that's smudged, I think, on like my thumb. But honestly, because of the sparkle, you can't even really tell. Like it's actually turned out really nicely. I'm actually super happy with this. It's great. I'm a little tipsy and sleepy from drinking amaretto sour, so just popping in to say hello and be on my way. Well, precious pair, so glad you could stop by. Thank you for being here. FYI, guys, normally for Christmas, I don't know why this has become a tradition for my channel, but this is something that we do, is we normally do like a Christmas hidden object game, and I have been so busy making content and doing other stuff that I have not had time to play that yet this year, even though I literally bought a hidden object game already. And at least half of my family is very sick right now, and so I might not have anything to do Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. At this point, we may be delaying Christmas activities until everyone feels better. So we might be here Christmas Eve and Christmas Day and playing some hidden object games and just like hanging out, if that's how things end up going, because I don't really know at this point. I'm kind of waiting to hear back on what the plan is, especially on top of the really terrible weather we've been having. I just don't know what's gonna end up happening with that. So we might have some little bonus streams over the weekend is what I'm saying. But today what we're doing is it's the normal Q&A, and I'll just go ahead and do the spiel right now. So this is an interactive Q&A, 18 plus only, like it says below, because we talk about adult topics that include discussion of the following: BDSM, kink, polyamory, asexuality, which is not technically 18 plus, but I included on this list because that's how this works, I guess. And just sex, that's also a thing that comes up during these live streams sometimes. And dating and relationships, and that's what we talk about. That's a list. So we talk about adult topics, and there are rules. There's an FAQ down below. You can go ahead and read that down here if you've not already. If you are confused, lovely mods in the chat are there to help you if you are confused about something, and just ask whatever you want, and I will get into it. There were actually, I was going to do this. I'll do this post tomorrow for Patreon. I wanted to do it today, but I think I just posted too many things on Patreon. So I was on, if you guys remember, I did a video review of a dating app called Field. And I did a video hosted by Field with Cat Black where we did like an interactive call-in show. It was super fun. I did not get to answer nearly as many questions as I wanted to. And I don't know if any of you are possibly from that or saw that. But if you do have any questions that we didn't answer during that stream, you can answer them or ask them here too, and I might answer them. I do apologize for my camera focusing. It just, I think it's the different lights kind of freak it out a little bit, and I'm trying to figure out how to make it freak out less, but honestly, that just appears to be technology. So what we're doing today, outside of the Q&A, and feel free to ask as many questions as you want, please do not spam the chat with the same question multiple times, because I do read the chat, I keep up with the chat, I answer questions in the order they come in, and so far as what you should know about like what kinds of questions are okay, basically I don't give medical advice, mental health advice, that kind of a thing. But outside of that, almost everything is pretty much fair game. Again, anything is in the description down below if you want to get the details. But today, I don't remember why I agreed to do this. I'm going to be honest. I don't remember. But I got some plant-based eggnog in my, look how cute this mug is. Look how it says, did I get this I think I got this at Michael's or Joanne. It says happy, probably not going to focus on the letter, but it says happy holidays. Isn't this just like the cutest little, this is just, look at this little guy. Look at him and the little thing. Look at that. Look at it. Everyone, look. Love him. All right, that's all. I have a mug full of plant-based eggnog, which usually sucks ass. It might not this time. We don't know. I had a little sip earlier just to make sure it was edible, and I think that it is. And I'm not really, so my family never really had eggnog growing up, so I don't really know how this is supposed to be done. I did read some recipes, and I think you are supposed to have it cold. So I don't have this heated up at all, which seems weird to me that you would drink a cold egg drink. But maybe I'm just uncultured. That's also always a possibility. And I have a shot glass, more than a shot. How much is this? I have 21 teaspoons I have 21 teaspoons worth of spiced rum, which I don't know if that's the alcohol you normally have with eggnog, but it was this or coconut rum. So that's what we have today. I don't know if I'm gonna like shot chaser the drinking the spiced rum with the eggnog. I don't know if I should mix it in. I don't know how I should do this. I need your guys' advice. How should I do this? Is it better to mix it in, or is it better, because I'm not putting all of this in the eggnog, to be clear. That would be, the drink to booze ratio would be off terribly if I did that. But should I mix it in, or should I shot? I also have like a full water bottle, so we're staying hydrated here because it's very important when you consume alcohol. And believe it or not, I haven't pre-gamed at all. I'm just hyper because I'm tired, I guess. I don't know. I have the cat version of that mug. Well, I'm very happy they make a cat version. I feel like there are. I thought that there was a cat on this mug, but maybe it's just a schnauzer. Okay, I don't think there is actually a cat on this mug. I thought it was just pets. I did get some really cute Christmas cards for next year, though, that have like all like a bunch of Christmassy animals on them, and it's so cute. By the way, if you are on my Patreon and you were signed up to a $15 plus tier, all of your cards are in the mail. At least as of yesterday, if you signed up last minute, like over this past weekend. And if you signed up before last weekend, then your cards were in the mail on the 15th. So you should, if you signed up earlier, you should definitely have your cards by today, I feel like, unless you're like in the UK where there's like a postal strike happening. And if you are somebody that ordered a card last minute, your card, I'm assuming, is not going to be there by Christmas just because of the extreme weather. If you live farther away than like, you know, California, Oregon, Washington, somewhere around there. If you live on the East Coast, it'll probably be like the day or two after Christmas, if I had to guess. But I don't own the post office, so I don't know. Mix it in. Chase it, mix. I think you mix it. I think it's supposed to be mixed, but it would be understandable if you tried them separately first. I never had eggnog. It's not a Christmas tradition in my country. Oh, do you have like a drink tradition in your country for Christmas? Do you do like spiced wine or grog or mead, or I'm trying to think what some of the other ones would probably be. Probably horchata? Probably that. I feel like that fits that's basically, I feel like I've seen horchata like marketed here as like Mexican eggnog, which is wild, but I feel like I've seen that before. I think it's supposed to be mixed. Yeah. Hey, don't worry, Harley. Glad you could make it. So, I think spiced rum is an acceptable drink. It needs to be mixed, though. I didn't actually bring a spoon or anything with me, so I probably should have planned that one a little bit better, actually. I don't know why I didn't grab a spoon. Okay. I think I'm going to try them separately first, just to make sure it's tolerable, and then I will... When was the last time I had a shot of alcohol? I don't know. I don't drink, so this is going to be exciting. I had like a little bit of a drinking phase in college. Not nearly to the degree that most people do, but like I technically drank when I was in college. All right. Should I... Woo, the memory. Okay, this is not Fireball, for the record, because it's not cinnamon whiskey, it's spiced rum. It's actually, I think it's Sailor Jerry's, if I remember the bottle downstairs correctly. The memory of this, let's talk about some memories. So, what this brings to mind when I smell it is the memory of a time in college when I went camping with a bunch of friends, and I think we had Fireball there, and we had Kraken and a couple of the other, you know, usual, like, college kid hard alcohol beverages. And I remember one person in particular getting, like, completely blackout drunk and running around the woods, like, I think he was either partly or fully naked. And you know what? Apparently that's the kind of decisions that rum and whiskey lead you to make. I don't know. Cojito all the way. I'll have to look it up. Spiced rum is good, especially in some Coke, not Pepsi. I do not have any soda, and I don't really drink soda. I think the closest thing I have to soda downstairs is an energy drink or like a black cherry sparkling water. Maybe one of my roommates has a Sprite. That's probably it. The Kraken is good spice rum. I honestly don't really... Maybe that's what I'm remembering is the Kraken. Maybe that's what this is reminding me of, is actually... Because it smells... just like the college party stuff. And like, I drink sometimes when I go out to dinner, but like... Okay, alright. You guys ready to watch me like completely not be able to handle this? I'm not gonna drink all this. We're not shotgunning this whole thing. FYI, I'm not shotgunning 21 tablespoons or teaspoons of booze into my mouth at once. No, this is actually before I was part of the kink community. There was not any booze and kink overlap there. It was just like normal college people. I don't have any Sprite. I don't think Sprite would really go with this. I'm gonna be honest. I just have eggnog. That's all I've got. That's all I've got. I don't know if Sprite would work. All right, let's go. Whew. All right, that is not as... I'm not going to say the flavor of the eggnog is good, but it definitely cuts the rum. Like, as soon as you drink it, it gets rid of the actual boozy flavor. I was always more of a vodka person. I was much more of a clear spirits person when I drank in college, except for tequila. I refuse. You know, I'm an adult now. I would have tequila, but the only time I've ever been sad while drinking is when I had tequila, so I prefer not to. And I just don't feel like it, like, tastes very good. Yeah, this is, like, a second time this has ever happened on stream, so it really should be unless you know me from real life, this should be a new experience for everyone. Alright, I'm gonna make sure that I haven't missed any questions. Oh, I was gonna look up, Cojito. That's what I was gonna... I'm sure I know what it is as soon as I look it up. Oh, little coconut. Oh, yeah, because Cojito has ito at the end. It's like the diminutive, of course. Coconut. That's so cute. The coconut-based alcoholic beverage is similar to eggnog. It's sometimes referred to as Puerto Rican eggnog, though incorrect as Cojito does not call for eggs. The drink mix is usually of Puerto Rican rum, coconut milk, cream of coconut, sweetened condensed milk, vanilla, nutmeg, clove, and cinnamon. That actually sounds like pretty good. That actually sounds pretty good. It's interesting that the coconut cream and the milk are separate ingredients. Many families have their own variations of the recipe that are passed down through generations. The drink will be seen as early as Thanksgiving and as late as Dia de los Reyes. That being said, the drink makes its main appearance during the Christmas season. And then, I think Dia de los Reyes is like Epiphany? Or like Three Kings Day or something? Oh yeah, it is Epiphany. Oh yeah, it's also called Three Kings Day, which is the same thing. Anyways, I'm Catholic. I should know these things. Or I was raised Catholic, at least. Not currently Catholic. Listen, if I was Catholic right now, I would not be shotgunning rum on a live stream the day before Christmas Eve. Or would I be? My family, listen, my family did a genealogy test recently, and I have one great-grandparent that is Dutch, and everyone else in my entire family, even though my family has lived in the Americas, at least on one side, since the 1700s, we're all Irish, we're all Scottish, we're Welsh, and a little bit of English in there. We're all from Liverpool. So you know what? Do with that what you will, I guess. I don't know. It really explains, honestly, the skin tone. I wasn't surprised by finding this. Like, this is a skin tone that can only be explained by majority Celtic heritage, let's be honest. I don't know where the hair color comes from. That's a little bit more of a mystery. But, Yeah. 1 tequila, 2 tequila, 3 tequila, 4. Oh, yeah. Nothing good ever came out of a story that started with somebody drinking tequila. Just saying. I mean, I think that that's accurate. I don't think I've had that experience. Oh yeah, I'm sure a bar is like a really good place to make money for the holidays. I'm sick and watching from a hot bubble bath while drinking a hot tea with lemon. Ooh, that sounds awesome. That sounds super good. I love ginger tea. Yeah, I don't think I've actually ever had good tequila. I think the tequila that was around was obviously like cheap, probably a huge bottle from Costco tequila, if I had to guess. All I have is White Claw. I've never had White Claw before. Never had White Claw. I have a bottle of Ouzo on my desk. Does that count? That definitely counts. One of my favorite Animal Crossing villagers. Oh, that's a great question. Let me look up a list of Animal Crossing villagers and I'll get back to you on that. I didn't like Cherry at first, but I do. She's in my village currently. I haven't looked at Animal Crossing at all the whole month of December. Oh no. I'm gonna have to. Maybe we'll do an Animal Crossing stream tomorrow. But I also need to play the Christmas hidden object game. Vote in the comments and in the chat of this live stream. Christmas hidden object game, Christmas Animal Crossing. If I'm streaming tomorrow, which I might not. I might not. Alright, time for more of this. I think when I get to like a reasonable level to mix the rest of it in, I'll go ahead and do that. I just don't want to accidentally shotgun this whole thing into the thing and then have it just like taste gross, you know? Isabella's good. Does she count as a villager though? Because I do like Isabel, but I don't know if she technically counts as a villager because she doesn't, like, you can't invite her to move into your town. I wonder what my favorite... I feel like I really like the dog villagers. Like, the goat villagers are also very cute, though. The cat villagers are cute, honestly. Like, unless it's... I don't like the horses or, like, the hippos. No hate. They're not for me. Alright, more of this. Disgusting. It gets disgusting and then it's less disgusting. I just hate the like... I have this like automatic response where I jerk my head around and I don't like it when the booze is really strong. Alright. What was I doing? Alright. Oh, no. Anka is totally ruined for me. Listen. Animal Crossing was ruined for me because when I was playing it most recently, this was around the time when they were announcing like the most recent like huge update to Animal Crossing that came out. And there was a bunch of... How do I say this? I don't know if this is the right category, but softcore pornographic videos of Anka on YouTube. Like just front page, searching for Animal Crossing, 3 million views, uncensored. Like you could see that she was like riding in Animal Crossing, like the player character villager, and you could see like the outline of a penis inside her. She's a cat in the children's video game. I had to report those videos so many times because it's like my videos where I'm just giving advice about communication and relationships get demonetized, but somebody can put softcore pornography of a children's video game character on the goddamn front page. I don't know why I'm doing an old lady voice for this, because I feel like I'm an old woman complaining. Back in my day, you couldn't put softcore pornography of a children's video game character on the front page of YouTube.com. And now that shit gets fully monetized. My goodness. I think I'm doing like the Robert Evans... I think I'm doing the Robert Evans, like, newscaster voice. If you guys watch or listen to Behind the Bastards, that's the voice I'm apparently channeling. Where I'm like, back in my day, these kinds of illicit materials were not allowed on the front page of the internet. Or were they? Yeah, I don't know. I'm not gonna look. But just know that they were out there, and I'm sure that a version of it still exists. I'm sure that if you look on youtube.com and you go to the search bar, you will find it. And I know this, and I feel bad for YouTube, and I kind of, listen, it's the holiday season. I should have a little bit of empathy for youtube.com, because it's very difficult to regulate this godforsaken website. Because people love uploading pornography to this website. Every single week, I go to see what the latest things are under BDSM and kink and dominatrix and bondage and everything else. And when I tell you, and you can check this, if you were to just go to YouTube.co.uk. No, not youtube.com. I don't know why I think that's funny. Because I'm an idiot. That's why. You just type in BDSM. Okay? And then you sort by, everything that's uploaded this month. Right? And it's like, my video, some other bitch's video, honestly, a lot of the stuff currently is like, stuff about Balenciaga, which is kind of messing with it, but it's like, spanking ASMR, dominant daddy collars you for the first time, top 10 most beautiful BDSM porn stars, like, it's, bondage, swing, BDSM, I don't even know how to because some of these don't even have, like, decipherable titles. Honestly, a lot of the stuff that's like, okay, if I just sort by, like, whatever is just upload date, maybe. Oh, there's stuff about, like, the mistress in Florida that went to, like a city council meeting. But a lot of it, especially if you put in bondage, okay? Like, go to bondage and then do sort by uploaded this month. And it's like, do girls like bondage? And then there's the second video is somebody stuffing a silicone gag in her mouth. And then there's more Balenciaga stuff. And then it's just an absolute sea of Chinese bondage pornography. Just latex catsuit, girl bondage, leather catsuit, spy girl, armbinder, handcuffs, boots, girl play fashion, black leather bondage, ankle cuffs, BDSM gear, ankle restraints, erotic toys, submissive, Chinese bondage, one should learn to be comfortable. Chinese bondage, you're so amazing. Capture leather, catsuit, spy girl gloves, girl handcuff bondage, and no escape play fashion. Sarah Laroff kidnapped, OTS carry bondage, injection, and sleep dust. Chinese bondage, girl who thinks it over. Like, just Chinese bondage, darling, we go shopping. I mean, women, they be shopping. They do be shopping. That is true. And then it's a bunch of religious stuff about, like, my story, released from bondage. Deliverance or Bondage, an introduction by Paul M. Williams from Bethesda Shalom. Why is it called Bethesda Shalom? Oh, are these one of those like Jews for Jesus people? I'm not even gonna engage with that. We're not even gonna engage. Anyways, you get the idea. Chinese bondage remind you that cute girl. I love that, like, rope bondage fetish, Japanese bondage, rope art bondage, ropes, rope, Fudomomo, rope hero, artwork aesthetic. Like, in between, there's, like, religious sermons and then Chinese BDSM pornography. And, like, I get why, if 90% of the content uploaded to YouTube affiliated with BDSM are people re-uploading Chinese softcore bondage pornography. And I'm just gonna keep saying it pornography because that sounds funnier to me. Like, if that's gonna be what happens, I get why your little algorithm would get confused about, like, well, we don't usually want to promote BDSM because most BDSM is porn, and so this lady talking to a camera about negotiation might also be porn, so demonetized, the end. Women are shopping. They just don't stop shopping. Shop till you drop. I know shalom, but like in a Christian context, you don't... Maybe I'm reading into this, but I feel like normally in a Christian context, you wouldn't say the word shalom. Like that, to me, gives me vibes of, oh no, this is the Jews for Jesus type situation. Because normally Hebrew and Christianity does not come that close in contact with each other. Anyways, that's what's going on there. Yeah, no, it's just SEO word salad. If you guys don't understand what's going on with those titles, it's just SEO word salad. They don't actually care about the titles being readable. It's about getting as many searchable terms into the title. So if somebody searches for Chinese bondage, girl tied up, shibari, handcuffs, restraint, or whatever, any of those keywords will mean that that video shows up in that search history or search result. So, yeah. This is very educational material. Be quiet. I'd answer questions, but I haven't found one yet. I know I feel ready to just because of the newbie kinky 18-year-olds entering the community. I remember those pop-ups from the mid-2000s that were literally just Simpsons and Family Guy porn or prawn. No. But I'll take your word for it. I was a very innocent child in the early 2000s. I was on Neopets and less innocently Maple Story. So I don't really remember seeing pop-up ads for that. I definitely remember seeing, like, the one weird trick, like, it would show, like, an old lady's face, and then, like, a cut lemon, and then, like, a youthful face to be like, doctors hate this one trick. Like, I remember that kind of advertising. I don't remember Family Guy porn, but also, if I saw it, I might not have even registered that that was what it was. Oh, I was supposed to look up my favorite Animal Crossing villagers. Okay. There's probably a lot. Let's see. Animal Crossing villagers. I will say the one skill I retain even when I'm drinking is my eyesight actually stays pretty fucking good. So, Flora? Flora is cute. I remember Flora. Oh, that's a lot, actually. Oh, this is by, like, somebody... Ugh! Sorting them by color order? Sorting them by personality type? Wow. Okay. I'm sending you guys this as a link because somebody literally has a list. Listen, anti-Semitism alert happening here. Somebody has literally created a list of Animal Crossing villagers where they sort them into desirables and undesirables. undesirables. Listen, you're one of the undesirables. Get out of here. You're not allowed. Alright, check this out. Look at this. I don't know if this link will actually work. We'll see. Look at this. Is it possible to go into subspace, although it's extremely difficult for someone, or should one just give up? I don't know if this is a controversial opinion. I don't actually know what the larger BDSM community thinks about this, but my feeling about this is that subspace very rarely happens when you want it to happen. Like, by which I mean, if you try to force it to happen, it's less likely, because being preoccupied with making it happen because you're concerned about it happening just means that your brain is not really in the state it needs to be in to allow subspace to be achieved. And I have found that the times I've entered into subspace is not when I've tried to make it happen, but just when I'm like really enjoying the scene, when something that's like really pleasurable but also intense is happening, and that's more what tends to cause it. But at the same time, I think it's sort of those, like, when you let go wanting to make it happen, it'll happen for you, I think, type of deals, where some people, yes, get into subspace very easily. I'm sure there are chatters right now in the chat who, like, as soon as somebody spanks me, the first stroke, I go into subspace, or the first second rope is on me, I'm in rope space. There are definitely people who just, their brains are very primed to enter subspace, and they just go there really easily and very quickly. And not everyone is like that. And that's also not even always a benefit, because if you go into subspace very quickly, that can actually be less rewarding, I think, you know, for a dominant or a top partner. If I could speak for myself on this one, I think that it's oftentimes less rewarding for a dominant or top partner for somebody to go instantly into subspace, because usually that means someone who is someone who goes into subspace can very oftentimes end up being non-verbal, non-communicative, non-reactive, or act in a way that's very distant. And when you want to have like a deeper connection in the scene itself, it's a lot harder to do that when somebody's like way over here in La La Land from like the 5th second you've started a scene. And you're like, well, I want to interact with the partner, but they're way over here mentally, and I'm still here on Earth, and what the heck? So I think one is like not valuing subspace as like the be-all end-all of like a good BDSM scene, just knowing that we all have different biology and different brains, honestly, because like I don't have any studies here to prove this one way or the other. My inclination is that I think people that are prone to, you know, anxiety, OCD, rumination, invasive thoughts, I think if your brain is more in that direction of being, it's a lot harder to get into subspace. Whereas if you're more neurotypical in that regard, it's probably easier to get into subspace, because I think if you have a very anxious mind, your brain can be afraid almost to go into subspace and have that loss of control, and you'll kind of like consciously try to hold on to awareness for longer because of that like fear and anxiety. So like a little bit of it could just be like dealing with underlying fear and anxiety, if you happen to have any, around kink activities or going into subspace, and like telling your brain that it's, and maybe you can make a mantra around this, or say this to yourself before getting into a scene, and like set that intention of like, I want to go into subspace. Subspace is safe. Subspace is calm. I will be okay if I enter subspace. I am relaxing my mind. I am letting go. I will be safe, and like trust me, and like telling your brain to trust itself, that can be helpful. But just like letting go of the idea that you have to enter into subspace, that subspace makes you a better bottom or a better submissive, that it makes your scene better, because different, like if you went into subspace the second you started doing service submission stuff, and you just like conked out the whole time, like that wouldn't be very helpful, right? Like that, you know, how are you supposed to give good service and be attentive when you're way off in law? And that's, you know, this is how I perceive subspace to be. I don't think of subspace as just being like when you're acting out the role and when you feel like invested in that role in like the way that an actor feels when you're like deeply in a role. I think about it as like a pronounced mental shift, where not really you lose control of your mind necessarily, but like it's so different that like the closest thing I can compare it to is like kind of like an out of body experience essentially. So anyways, don't pressure yourself. Don't feel bad if you can't enter into subspace. Most people I know do not enter into subspace very easily, and treating it as the be all end all is like the surefire way to make it not happen. And I think you already have the line of reasoning correct, and like, should I just give up? It's not that I would give up in terms of like it's hopeless, it'll never happen for me, but letting go of that being the expectation or the outcome that you want to have happen, and just focus on having a good scene besides subspace is, I think, what will lead you to having that experience. What does subspace feel like? I realize I'm not answering these in order, but I feel like these go together, so I kind of want to answer them as a cluster. So it's funny, we talked about this like in a recent live stream, so it's interesting that's kind of coming back up again. But subspace for me feels like a very floaty, free, relaxed space where if I'm doing it and it results from like something painful happening, like if I get into subspace from like whips or spanking or paddles or something or caning, that I usually feel very like floaty and giggly and beyond the pain, and like I can handle anything, and just like very happy and blissful and relaxed. I think when that happens for rope bondage, it's very similar, but it's much more like still and calm. I find that I'm a little bit more active physically and verbally when I'm in subspace, because I kind of want to dance around, I want to giggle, I want to, I just have more energy in subspace from pain versus like rope space from bondage, where it's a little bit more like meditative is what I would say. But if you guys have any experiences of subspace and you want to share what they feel like go put that in the chat or in a comment down below, because I think everyone has so different of an experience of subspace, and maybe explaining what it feels like and kind of trying to get that breadth of experience would be helpful. Oh my gosh, welcome to your first live stream, Sarah. Congrats. Thanks for being here. Thanks for hanging out. When I get into subspace, it feels like a state of lucid, blissful clarity, if that makes any sense. I've never lucid dreamed before, but I can kind of picture that. Evie, floatily is your word now. TM that shit. All right, I'll get my lawyer on that immediately. Put that on a t-shirt. Okay, I'm gonna go back to looking at Animal Crossing Villagers, where you guys share what your subspace experience is like. You have to let yourself play. Reminds me how you said, Evie, that you always played as a dog. I do. Playing. Like, think about it as playing, right? Like, don't think about it as, like, I'm trying to achieve this particular end. Like, I think thinking about it as, like, a playful, and, like, I say that BDSM is, like, a mutually pleasurable experience that's, like, joyful and everything. And I know that some people, it doesn't really, like, that idea of joy you might be thinking of in your head when I say that doesn't resonate with your kink experience. And when I say something is joyful, I don't always mean that, like, it has to be, like, I don't know, like the joy that, like, a 5-year-old experiences when they have a funnel cake at an amusement park. Like, I don't mean a conventional idea of joy necessarily. It can be that way, but BDSM can be joyful even if it's not. It can be joyful in the way that, like, roller coasters or, like, a haunted house is joyful. All right. Okay, this one. Okay, sweet. I found one that has a list of all the villagers in alphabetical order with their pictures. All right, here we go. Here's all the ones that I think are cute. I want to call them out, all right? Becky. Becky, I don't know if Becky's cute, but she's funny. And she calls people chiclet, which I think is funny. I keep seeing my villagers. I have Biff in my village. He's kind of... Oh my god, Biscuit? Biscuit's a lazy dog. He's cute. Blanche, the snooty ostrich, cute. Bones, a lazy dog. Bree, the snooty mouse with her green hair. That's cute. Carrie was like, listen, I had Carrie was one of my villagers on the Nintendo GameCube version of Animal Crossing, and when she moved out, I cried. Like, I was like, Carrie, don't move out of my village. Carrie, don't leave. I was devastated as a child when Carrie left my village, because moving out villagers on at least the GameCube version of the game is like very random, and from what I remember at least, and I was devastated that Carrie left. Absolutely devastated. Cephalobot, the smug octopus. I would put him in a vat of acid and I wouldn't think twice about it. Cherry, the dog, amazing. I think sisterly villagers are the best personality, in my opinion. There's so many snooty animals. Why are there so many snooty animals? Daisy the dog is so cute. And her catchphrase is bow wow. But wow is capitalized. That is so cute. I love it. So cute. I think Dizzy was one of my elephant villagers in one of my games too. Let's see. I'm on the E's now. Oh my god. There's an Elvis impersonator koala named Eugene. Etole. I don't know how to speak French, but it looks like Etole. The normal sheep. She got like a real pastel Tumblr girl vibe to her. That's cute. Fang was one of my villagers in the GameCube game too. I remember him. Fauna is cute. Flora is one of my villagers. She's cute. Gail, the alligator. Gladys, the ostrich. She's cute. Goldie, also cute. This is like, I've said way too many villagers at this point. Ione, the squirrel. Looks like a space squirrel. That's interesting. Kiki the cat. That's cute. Lily the frog. Lolly. I love Lolly. Lolly and I are friends. Thank you, Andrew. Going to my first high protocol cocktail party. Ooh. On the 7th with my group. Have you done high protocol before? If so, any porn is relaxing. I do, and I have. Let me finish this list of Animal Crossing villagers, and then I will super answer your question. Lolly the cat is my friend. Lucky the dog, cute. Maple the bear, cute. Which I guess is a cub. Is there a difference between cubs and bears? I guess there is. There's cubs and there's bears on this list, and they're different. Fascinating. Why? I don't know. Matilda the kangaroo looks like the dark matter universe version of Carrie the koala, or the kangaroo. Melba the koala, cute. Molly the duck, cute. Muffy the sheep, sisterly village, S tier for sure. Nana the monkey. I've never seen a monkey villager that's like cute before, but Nana is cute. I think somebody said Nana is one of the villagers. Bread always falls peanut butter side down. Aw, Nana. She is named after a character in Nintendo's Ice Climber. The same applies to her catchphrase, Popo. inspired by Nana's partner, Popo. They didn't make another monkey villager called Popo. They just made her catchphrase Popo. Wow. That's female superiority right there if I ever saw it. That's cute. Nana, or Chi-Chi, is also her name. Very cute. Nana, you're cute. Olive, the normal cub. That's cute. Olivia, the snooty cat. Looks like the goth Marilyn Monroe cat. I'm trying to like go quickly through this. This is Pietro. Oh, my beloved Pietro. The smug sheep. He is a funny boy, that's for sure. That is for sure. Raymond the cat, I gotta say, don't get the hype. Do not understand the hype for Raymond the cat in Animal Crossing. Rosie the cat, also cute. I feel like I like more of the squirrel villagers, but I haven't found them yet. I feel like I haven't seen that many of them. Sky the wolf, definitely cute. Stella the sheep, definitely cute. Stitches the bear, also cute, but also lazy. Tangy! Oh, I had Tangy in one of my villages too. Tangy the orange cat. Like literally orange. Tia, the elephant that looks like a teapot. Don't know if cute necessarily, but definitely interesting. Vesta the sheep, love. Love, love, love. Okay, that's it. I'm through. I think I'm done with them. Oh no, it was Wolfgang! Wolfgang was the one that I had in my village. Wolfgang the cranky wolf. He was a very mean boy. He was cute though. Okay. Explaining the differences between the cubs and bears takes a whole other meaning in LGBT. It really does. Okay, so high protocol. I haven't been to a high protocol cocktail party before, but I love that idea. I have, however, done a number of high protocol dinners, which I feel like are like a cocktail party with like extra added on top. Because I think there would normally be drinks before the actual dinner. So I feel like I kind of have experience with what you're talking about. And so yes, I should make a new video on high protocol stuff. Oh, thank you, Alexandria. Just wanted to say that your videos have helped me so much in exploring my kinky identity and navigating the community. I've been kinky myself for 20 years, but have been getting myself out there recently, and your vids have been invaluable in that. Well, that's awesome. Thank you so much, Alexandria. I appreciate that. You're awesome. Thank you for being here. So high protocol parties, I've definitely done before. And I feel like I always get really excited for high protocol parties. But that was also because I knew the people that were hosting the party. And so it was like my friends, which I think really reduced any sort of anxiety around the event. Because it wasn't like I had to put on and perform for other people so much as it was having a fun time with my friends. But I think if you're going to a high protocol event that's hosted by people that you don't personally know, I can see why that would be a little bit more nerve-wracking. I think what would probably help me is like really understanding the event and like knowing what's going to happen, knowing who's going there, knowing what I'm going to be doing when I go there, right? Like, am I going to be serving? Am I going to be just hanging out by the table? I'm there as somebody's partner. Am I going to be assigned to someone? Like, just really knowing what to expect, I think will reduce a lot of those nerves. Right. They said they're not doing a dinner this year just because it cuts down a lot of the prep work. It really does. Like, the dinner definitely takes a long time. Definitely takes a long time for sure. I have an old video on high protocol on like, if you guys search on my channel for like high protocol, those videos should pop up, but I should definitely do a new one at this point. Alright, I'm putting it on the list of video ideas. I got like some fire video ideas that I'm excited to film. I think they're going to be really good. So what am I doing? Just like high protocol? Question mark? What is it? Who knows? That's what I'm putting down. It's gonna be my bullet point to myself. So yeah, so high protocol I think is a lot of fun, and I think that as long as you really understand what your role is, I think something that is very comforting about protocol in general is it's all about trying your best and following the rules. And so as long as you know what the rules are and you try your best to follow them, you should be fine. It's not really great if you're like, and sometimes this will happen, you'll go to a high protocol party and somebody will like go there to non-consensually brat at everyone else. Or the last high protocol event I went to before the pandemic, there was somebody who was actually a dom that was there with one of their partners, and I remember that they were doing fucking balloon animals at the dinner table, and not only that, but they didn't disclose all of their allergen needs and their like dietary restrictions to the chef. And so they went to this high protocol party, they ate nothing, they brought their own brown rice from home and like ate, it was like plain rice and like something else maybe. They had plain rice that they microwaved, and then they did balloon animals at the dining table. And I was like, you have done nothing to contribute to the spirit of this high protocol dinner. You have actively sucked all of the energy out of the room to make it be about yourself. Also, keep in mind the person who did this, and I will never forget this, was a children's therapist, which just adds a layer of bizarreness to this whole experience. Is like they were not really interested in actually really doing high protocol. They kind of just wanted to make, because it was a small enough group to where we could all be at like one really big long dining table. And I hate the noise of balloons. It was very loud. It was the loudest thing in the room, and it just like took away from the protocol experience to have this lady who like wasn't doing anything in the spirit of protocol like at all, but because she was a dom, there wasn't really anything that we could do about it, which was frustrating. And then I never went to any parties that she was at ever again because she made me upset. As a person, we just did not get along for whatever reason, and I did not want to be around her anymore because she would just show up and make everything about herself. And I don't care if you're a dom or not. If you're in a community group space, don't be that bitch that makes everything about you all the time. Because she did this same thing at a fucking Thanksgiving party. Like, I don't know. Listen, if anyone that's from that friend group or knows who I'm talking about is still here, I don't care. This literally happened like fucking 4 years ago, 5 years ago at this point. If hearing this story being retold at this point makes anyone upset, sorry, I don't care. But this was the thing. There was a Thanksgiving party that they also went to, and because they were Canadian, they were like, LOL, I don't understand American Thanksgiving. This is so stupid. This is so silly. Why do you have pumpkin pie? Pumpkin pie sounds gross. Ew, disgusting pumpkin pie. And to be funny, they cut a giant triangle of pumpkin pie out of the dead middle of the pumpkin pie. And they thought that was funny. And they were like, LOL, look at me. I cut myself a slice of pumpkin pie. Aren't I so cute? And I'm like, all you've done is make this about yourself. Again, I am concerned that you work with children as you're living. I think, and you know what? It's been long enough to where, like, maybe I'm misremembering that, and maybe she doesn't work with kids, but I feel like I remember hearing that she worked with, like, kids, and she was, like, a psychiatrist that worked primarily with children or something. It's wild. Alright, so that's that story. Did I answer your protocol question in enough detail? If I didn't, let me know, and I will look out for a follow-up question. But in the meantime, I will answer some other questions because it's already 7 o'clock somehow. What the heckin' heck? What the heckin' dog? Gall darn it, Garnet. Who here watches the H3H3 podcast? Who here, please tell me somebody understands the sound bites. They can go suck an egg. That's a brilliant comeback. I think they ended up sticking around that friend group, but because they were Canadian, they weren't there to a lot of events. But I'm like, who, as the saying goes, who pissed in your maple syrup this morning? That's my question. That's so stupid because pumpkin pie is like a normal, regular thing in Canada. And like, yeah, keep in mind, she was from like the Vancouver, Victoria, BC area. She was not like in like the deep Yukon territory or something where like she lived in a small ice fishing village or something where she would have never interacted with American culture before. Like she had a partner that lived in America, I think, that she drove to. And like that was part of the reason why she came down, is to be with partner and her friends, and like just like I guess she was lying / pretending that she didn't know what pumpkin pie was just to be able to make a scene about it. And to be clear, the host told her don't do that, and then she did it anyways, and like it made the host really upset. Listen, not all brats are subs is what I would say. Although this is the meanest thing I will probably say about somebody, but this is the God's honest truth of my perception of her as a person. I think she was at least a little bit of a dom because she wanted to be performative around men, to seem different and not like other women / girls, to be like, LOL, look at me, I'm not like other girls, I'm a dom, and get their attention. And they definitely would be like, I mean, I'm a dom, but I like bottoming, and they would definitely bottom at every single party that they went to, which does not invalidate them as being a dom, to be clear, but I never saw them actually top or dom someone at any party that they went to, so I don't know how to take that. I don't know what that means. Anyways, and my uncharitable whisper story. I don't like, it's just funny thinking back on that, because it's like, even all this time later, I'm like, why would you be like that as a person? You know, why would you be like that? Very disrespectful. "100% a liar. Canadian Thanksgiving is the same without NFL football." Do you guys like watch hockey games instead or something? No, she was like dominant to men. I think she had like a male partner. I think she also domed women too, but like I think the partner that she was with was a man. So anyways, welcome to my ASMR hater time, because I am, in fact, direct quote, a hater ass bitch. All right, let's answer some questions. I'm gonna try and go in the order that they come in. I think I saw Aurora ask this earlier, so I'm gonna answer this now. How normal? Oh, okay, little dog, you doing all right? Oh, honey, you doing okay, sweetheart? Okay, she's just coughing a little bit. That's not a brat, that's a Karen. Accurate. How normal is it to not remember what you did when you were in Subspace after I've come out of it? I'm gonna say probably not normal. It's hard to say what normal is during Subspace because we don't really have any data to delineate what normal is or what average is. I would say average. I don't like the word normal. I'm gonna say average. I don't know of anyone that would be unable to remember everything that had like a complete blackout of Subspace. I don't think I've heard of before. If you have some kind of dissociative condition, I could see that being more likely to happen. I would say what's more common or average to see happen is somebody that goes into Subspace and has like a fuzzy memory. Like they remember most of what happened, but like the order's kind of fuzzy, or how long it was, or like your memory being fuzzy and kind of unclear is, I think, fairly common, especially in regards to time and having a little bit of time blindness, but not in terms of complete blackout. Hater Evie is my favorite Evie. Thank you. Do you have anything to eat with your alcohol? Cookies, Christmas bread? I don't need, what is Christmas bread? I don't. I had a cookie earlier today, but I don't have any milk in my house. I only have eggnog because my roommates drank all of the milk. And so I don't have anything to dip any cookies in. I haven't had time to make cookies except for a half batch of hot chocolate cookies. That's the only thing I've been able to make so far. I'm hoping to make more cookies tomorrow, but who knows, honestly. All right, let's answer some fucking questions. Oh wait, no, there's Andrew's question. Pointers for relaxing. Yeah, I think I sort of answered this. I really want to make sure I answer this thoroughly as a part, like, relaxing. Just really know what your role's going to be. Make sure you read all the rules. Don't put too much pressure on yourself to perform perfectly or follow everything perfectly. Just realize that you're going there to do and be in the spirit of following the rules, but you don't have to get everything exactly right. And in fact, sometimes by design, you're not going to be able to do everything exactly right because they want to have the ability to punish / correct you. And that is part of the fun of protocol, is getting to mess up and be corrected, but still have fun and enjoy yourself. So yeah, sounds super fun though. Have a good time. All right, let's find a question and then I'll have more to drink as a beverage. I think it's supposed to be okay. This is we drink sorrel, which is from the hibiscus plant. It has a lot of ginger and alcohol. That sounds really good though, actually. Ginger and like hibiscus, like hibiscus tea, if it's like a similar flavor. That sounds good. Oh, it's Jamaican. Oh, hibiscus drink. No Jamaican Christmas is complete without the sweet, tart, gingery hibiscus drink. That sounds really good, actually. It's dried hibiscus, ginger, cloves, and allspice. That sounds really good. That sounds really tasty, actually. All right, I've just got all these like drink recipes bookmarked. All right, Cojito all the way. Okay, we did that. Got Uzu bottle. Hope your bubble bath is going well. Oh, okay. How do you feel about kink events having BYOB and alcohol available? I'm not a big fan of it. What are your thoughts? As I've already seen a lady absolutely trash drunk, and people need to go to the bathroom. Yes. So I think we're probably on the same page. Now that I've been in Portland for a while, in Seattle and in Washington more generally, where most of my dungeon experience has been, I don't know of any venues in Washington that wasn't like a private house that people could go to for events occasionally, like an actual like venue that was a dungeon all the time and that was its main purpose. None of them where I'd lived or was from originally had alcohol at all. The closest you would get is at one of the dungeons I went to. They had a cigar, bootblacking, and chocolate night where you could have chocolate and whiskey, get your boots shined, and smoke cigars. But you had to choose to get an armband or not, and what armband you wore. Not armband, it was a wristband actually. And what wristband you wore would dictate if you were either drinking or you were allowed to play. And if you were drinking, they would not let you use the dungeon furniture. And if you were using the dungeon furniture, you had to be done before you could start drinking. And if you started drinking and took I think it was you had to take your wristband off if you were drinking, then after that you wouldn't be allowed to play again afterwards. And I think handling it that way was a lot better. Whereas what I've seen where I live now is most of the dungeons, well, there's actually a couple different dungeons here, and they all are sort of operating differently. But the majority of venues that allow BDSM and the ones that have the most events at them do have bars, do openly allow alcohol for, I want to say, like every party that I've seen. Drinking is very normal, and they have a very like handle your own high type of approach to it. And that plus my experience in Europe, where drinking and bars and BDSM is the norm, I am not I don't promote that. I don't think it's a good combination. I have been to parties before and I have drank, but I've only ever done that when I've decided I'm not going to play. I've never drank and then played. And I have seen people that either drink a little bit before or after the scene. And people tell me, especially in America, people would be like, oh, well, like, it's an open bar, but people, like, you know, like, it's not a big deal. They don't drink that much, or they only drink after they play. Or if they are drinking, they don't play. And I just feel like that's really a recipe for disaster waiting to happen, because aspirating your own vomit is really bad. And being in certain positions on bondage furniture, wearing a gag, wearing a hood, doing breath play, having your mouth obscured in some fashion, that could all lead to dangerous territory if somebody gets sick enough to vomit. It's harder to negotiate. It's harder to regulate your body temperature. It's harder to regulate everything, really. It's harder as the dom, it's harder as the submissive, the bottom, the top, master, slave, whatever you are. Alcohol just, to me, needlessly complicates the experience, especially in public, with people respecting scene space, respecting physical boundaries, not being pushy, not having to suddenly pee in the middle of a scene. Because if you've had a lot to drink and then you suddenly need to pee in the middle of a scene and you're all the way tied up, like, hope you're prepared for water sports, you know? Like, it just ends up not, I think, always being a good outcome. So I really do not think that BDSM and alcohol in public should be mixed together. I don't think that leads to good outcomes in terms of consent or anything else. I don't think it makes BDSM more fun. And I think if you need to drink to feel comfortable doing BDSM, you've done it wrong. You are not, I think you have to be prepared to do BDSM sober. And if you're not comfortable enough with BDSM yet to do it sober, you're not ready, and you need to take more time either to feel comfortable with it, investigate your thoughts and feelings, watch more scenes, learn more, talk to people. Like, you gotta work through that mental shit first, because if you're always relying on drinking to make your BDSM experiences easier, then you're not really, like, learning about yourself, you know? Does that make sense? And so I'm not for mixing BDSM and alcohol together in public, but not because I'm not a teetotaler. I don't think drinking is bad. I don't think that we should ban it. I just don't think it's a good idea. Speaking from my previous experience, where my previous normal dungeon was a bar that had a dungeon night, it really boils down to how well the coordinators monitor drunkenness level. That is a big part of it. I would say in my experience, they've not really done a good job, because I think a big part of it is a lot of the venues that I know, not just where I live currently, but in Texas and in New York and Chicago, other places I've heard of, not just where I live, Florida even, I think, too, at the venues that are primarily bars, and this is what it really gets down to, is the venues that are primarily bars, typically not owned by kinky people, but are more than happy to make money off of kinky people. They see a business opportunity in selling alcohol at BDSM events, and so their main priority is not like facilitating community, making sure people have a fun time. They are typically not very aware of the mores that we have in BDSM around consent and negotiation, and especially like revocable consent and all of that, and they treat it more like a normal bar crowd usually, and so their incentive is to make money. They are not there to be your friend. They are not there to watch out for you. They are not there to help you be safe. They are there to make money off of you. You are not a community member to them. You are a patron. You are a dollar sign. And so they tend to be a little bit more hands-off in terms of how much people are drinking. Are they over-serving? Like, they tend to not monitor that as closely. And because they don't know about BDSM, and they don't tend to hire people who know about BDSM, unless it's the event organizers for that particular play space. From what I've heard, I'm thinking of like a place in Texas that I think is probably closed now that used to be this way, where like the venue owners don't really understand BDSM at all, and so they don't really know what to even look out for or watch for, and they don't really like, it's all up to whoever is hosting the individual party to enforce their own rules and have people that are volunteers there to enforce the rules, but that is just so much more difficult. So I'm not really for it. But I do want to say, if you want to do BDSM with somebody that you know really well, a trusted partner, yada yada yada, I think doing, you know, BDSM with a trusted partner where you pre-negotiate ahead of time to like, hey, I would really love to try a scene maybe next Saturday where after we go to dinner or whatever, if we've had something to drink, we still play after that. Like, are you okay with that? Or I would love to see how it feels different to be spanked if I'm a little bit tipsy versus sober. How do you feel about that? That would be what I would probably do more, is like pre-negotiating something ahead of time with somebody you know in a controlled environment that you're comfortable in, that you know a lot about, and that would be more how I would do it, because drunkenness in public means dealing with the public, and the public is not great at consent or respecting boundaries. All right, camera, stop freaking out. You want to look at my nails, camera? Is that what you want? You have no problem focusing on these. All right, so that's my answer for drinking and BDSM stuff. I'm going to drink some more water. Hydrate. Hydrate yourselves, everyone. All right. Should probably have a little bit more. OMG, all my regulars at the bar I cut off all the time lovingly and for safety. I am so happy people like you exist, Michelle, because not everyone's that way. Some people are like, oh, they just need a little bit of liquid courage. You know, I remember back in my day, blah, 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 blah. And then they just like have no problem with over-serving people. And it's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? I think even if I wasn't wearing this, the camera would still freak out. Because like, I've done this before, and I've streamed a couple days with these lights being on in the background. And even when I'm not wearing this necklace, it still makes them freak out. I thought I could maybe double up this necklace and have it be a cool choker thing, but instead I can just outline my big old fucking forehead with it. So there you go. Yeah, do you guys like the nails? It's just plain nail polish. And then I put a layer of like the Essie silver sparkly nail polish on top of it, and actually set really well. I was excited. Drinking iced tea and still smoking stogies. Yeah, that's them. All right, we are at, that's milliliters, 70 milliliters / 15. Okay, where's the meniscus? Settle down there. 13.8. I'm going to call that 13.8 teaspoons of rum. If anyone wants to calculate that for me. Whew. That time it went right up my nose. Get out of my nose! Oh, God. Whew. Whew. My nostrils are burning. Okay. Make it a tiara. Oh, that's good. I could do like a little... I don't know how to do hairstyles, you guys. No one taught me as a child. I feel like you guys can't see most of the lights. This almost worked. This is hard to do. I don't have a mirror or anything. Okay, wait. Let me fix this. I got this. We can do this, all right, team. Let me just, oh, I'm probably going to completely mess up my bun now that I've taken it down. That looks not as good as it did previously, but all right. Yeah, I've got like I got loose bits. Okay, whatever. Does that work? How's that? If we just tuck this behind my ear, does that look like a style now? Does it work? Is this a vibe? Is this a mood? What do we think? I don't know. Actually, it does not look as bad as I thought it might. I'm gonna be honest. It actually looks pretty decent. My bun, however, is a little bit off kilter. Alright, there we go. You can only really see one side of it. You cannot really see one side of it. I don't know why I decided that I needed to say can I. Supposed to, you can't, but you can't see it. There we go. Fashion. It looks great. Perfect. Alright, I'm keeping this. What do you guys think? This is the final look. Alright, thank you all so much for watching my flower crown tutorial using LED. Oh, camera, you're not focusing. LED mini light bulb necklace from Holiday Home. Thank you so much for sponsoring this video. Alright, guys. Welcome to the 12th day of Vlogmas. Just channeling my inner, like, Christian YouTuber that does Vlogmas right now. Alright, guys, welcome to my Christmas light hair tutorial. This is the final look. It takes, like, no time at all. You only have to curl every piece of your hair and use 2 curling irons and buy $75 worth of lights, but I promise it's super worth it in the end. It's super worth it. This tutorial is going to be a TikTok video with that voice. I was not going for TikTok. I was going for like 2013 YouTube, but that works too. All right, I'm glad you guys like this. All right, next question. Ooh, I'm having a glass of bath wine, by which I mean it's a good Pacific Northwest Riesling that I'm drinking in the tub. That's how you do it. Oh, it's Nan and Chevrolet that are your favorites. I feel like I didn't see any of the goats on that list because I know that Nan and Chevrolet are cute because I have Chevrolet in my village. I was wondering if you could give me pointers on possibly going to my capital letter F first, capital M meeting with FetLife. My first meeting with FetLife. I don't know if you mean like you met someone individually on FetLife and you want to meet up with an individual person, or if you are going to a public social gathering that is on FetLife and you wanted, because I feel like those two things are different. All right, now we're at 9.6 teaspoons, just so everyone knows. So I'm trying to think, what does this mean? I'm trying to decipher what the meaning of this question is. So, I will go ahead, and it sounds more like Valley Girl Evie. That's the only voice that I do. That's the only fake voice I'm able to do is Valley Girl. Possibly going to my first meeting with FetLife. That's like such a general question. Okay, I'm going to just give like the very vague overview of I don't know the specifics of what it is that you're going to be doing or what the event is or if it's a meeting or not type thing. I'm going to give the most general possible answer for this, and then you can decide whether or not it's what you actually mean and what you're looking for. So if what you are going to is a public BDSM event, like a munch or a discussion group or a book club meeting or a dungeon party or a high protocol event, any of the above, read the rules of the event, message the organizer. If you're new and you're unsure, be like, hey, who goes to these parties? How many people are going to be there? Just to clarify, what's the dress code? Or any other questions you might have that are not answered in the post or the account page of the person hosting the event you want to go to. Check to see who is RSVP'd, how many people. Is it 5 accounts that all have blank profiles and no pictures? Or is it like 20 to 40 people that all have pretty active / filled out profiles? If it's more like the first one, that's usually a red flag. If it's more like the second, that's usually a green flag. Yes, a green flag. And other than that, I think it's mostly a message. It's mostly a matter of being brave and just getting the courage to go. I think it's always good for a social event as a new person to go earlier, even show up unless they say otherwise, because some people, especially if it's like a smaller event, are like, do not show up early. So listen to that. But if it is okay for you to show up early, I do really recommend showing up, if not 5 to 10 minutes early, at least within the first hour. So you have more time to meet new people before because like the later you wait, the more likely it is that all of the pre-existing friendship groups are there, and it's harder to break in and meet people and have conversations when everyone is like, oh, hi Sandra, I haven't seen you. Oh, hi Julie, blah, blah, blah. And then everyone's like all blah, 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 like in their own little groups. If you can avoid coming in really late when everyone's already in all of their groups already, that will be much more helpful for you actually being able to break the ice and actually talk to people. And then that'll give you more time if you want to like one-on-one speak to the organizer, speak to the person who made the event and be like, hey, like I'm new here, what's going on, who should I talk to, and just get more of the vibe for the event. And most importantly, if you do not like the vibe of the event, you do not have to stay. One of the reasons why earlier is better is so it may be less awkward for you to leave. And I don't think it's ever awkward for somebody to leave a munch and excuse themselves, because people got kids at home, they gotta go to work early in the morning, they've got some other thing they gotta do. Like, people have lives, obviously, outside of just going to this one event or this one munch. So it really shouldn't be a big ideal if you just, like, leave an hour in, if that's what you want to do, but you don't have to. I say arrive 20 minutes after it starts. Yeah, no, that's good. I would say, like, ideal time is, like, 5 minutes early to, like, 20 minutes in. Anything earlier than an hour in is best. Anything later than that is going to be more challenging as a new person if what you want to do is talk to people and make friends and introduce yourself. If this is like a dungeon party and all you want to do is go and watch other people play and you don't really necessarily want to socialize, showing up an hour in or like an hour and a half in might be better, because by that point, most people who are going to play have probably started playing. And so you might feel less awkward pressure to socialize when nothing else is going on if you show up an hour in and the play is already happening and you kind of just like dip into being part of the crowd. So a couple different ways to handle that depending on what it is you want to do and blah, 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 blah. Let's see. What was the other thing I wanted to say with that? Oh, yes. If what you're talking about with this question is, I want to meet somebody I met on FetLife, and this is a private person that I'm not necessarily going to take to a public event, i.e. a dungeon or a munch. One, I would say, if you can meet them at a dungeon or a munch or a whatever, please, please, please meet them in public. Meet them in public. If you don't have a munch or a dungeon or some other kind of space available for you to meet them in public, in a BDSM community sense of the term public, meet them for coffee. Meet them at a bar. Meet them in a public park. Meet them, and like park would even be bottom of the list, honestly, for this. But if you can meet them somewhere in public, somewhere where it's neutral ground for both of you, that is always best. In the same way that, like, you wouldn't, if you were on a dating app and you met somebody, unless you were on Grindr and you were really horny, for the most part, you would not meet a random person that you just met on a dating app at their house for a hookup, right? Or for just talking or whatever. And I'm assuming you want to do more than just a hookup and you want to get to know this individual person. Even if your intention is to play with this individual at some point in time, I think in order to do that well, what you need to do first is talk to them and get to know them. Not just what they say over text message or over instant messenger or phone calls or anything else, because it's so easy when you're not face to face to have someone just like say whatever, right? Like, oh yeah, I've been doing BDSM for 5 years. I've been a dom for 10 years. I have 15 years of kink experience. Oh yeah, I've done wax play 100 times. I've done this, that, the other 100 times. I think it's much better if you can get to see that person in person and just talk to them face to face. No screen between the two of you, and evaluate what's their skill level, what's their knowledge base. Do they actually care about consent and negotiation in the way that I care about consent and negotiation? Look at that. You can see a little bit more of like the little halo. Oh, I can probably, there we go. You guys can see more of the lights that way, I think. Does it look weird? I don't know. Probably does. And yeah, just be cautious. If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. If somebody's like, I'm a dom with 20 years of experience and I'm looking for a monogamous long-term relationship and I'm looking for a perfect new submissive to train to be mine, and I will love you and cherish you and pay for everything because I'm a billionaire and I own 3 houses in Florida or whatever. That's probably a scam. Sorry, you got scammed. Do not trust somebody until you've actually met them and gotten to know them. And then if you do meet up with this individual person and you do want to play with them, even after you've met, I wouldn't go to play with them at their house or even have them come to your house. I would see, do you have a dungeon available? Can you rent a place? Like something to play more in public and not going into their territory or inviting them into your home. Yeah, just neutral ground. If you know, do BDSM spaces tend to be neurodivergent friendly? Yes, with caveats. I would say that a lot of the most active, invested members of the community tend to be neurodivergent people. I know so many people in the scene that are on the autism spectrum, that have ADHD, that have other types of neurodivergency, or I don't know if that's the right term, or mental health things going on as well. In addition to that, spaces vary in their quality with how genuinely accepting they are of that. Some places are very accepting and understanding. Other places are less so. I would say my experience where I have lived has been very accepting and non-judgmental. I have seen a lot of judgment online from people saying that you like basically saying that if you are on the autism spectrum, you can't consent to doing BDSM, which is wild. But that is what they say. And I certainly know of instances where certain event organizers, certain individual people are not very understanding to actively hostile to neurodivergent people. But there are so many neurodivergent, nerdy people in this community that it's like you're gonna find other people that are like you very quickly for the most part. I do have blush on. So I have like actually some pretty heavy red blush on. So if I looked flush, it's not actually because of the drinking. It's because I have like, I put on way too much red blush by accident. That's what happened. All right, I'm gonna drink some more water. And then we'll probably have one more little thing of like, I could probably just mix, at this point okay, I'm just gonna do it. Oh, oh God, that was a mistake. Oh, that turned color. I shouldn't have done that. That was a mistake. Regretty spaghetti on my part. That looks like miso soup now. Like, you know how miso soup will separate? Miso? What did I say? Miso is water. Why did I say miso? Miso soup. You know how it kind of separates and it's like cloudy on the bottom and clear on top? That's what just happened here. That probably wasn't supposed to happen. Good luck traveling to get your frozen... Oh, God. Good luck to me dropping a water bottle on my fucking face. R.I.P. me. Good luck getting your frozen pizza. Don't do anything too crazy. The roads are nasty. The weather's nasty. Your car might get frozen in the parking lot if it starts to freezing rain. But, you know, I don't control you. You're an adult. You get to choose your own risk profile. Just don't do anything untoward. Yeah, water soup. Oh, no. It was a very regretty spaghetti type moment. Well, oh, I think all the rum's just on the top. Guys, look at this. I think all the rum's just on the top. Look at this. That didn't work at all. That didn't work at all. You guys lied to me. I should have realized there would be different densities and that this would happen. I gotta like mix it up. I'm mixing it with my finger. Whatever. I'm the only one. Okay. I try to mix it and then it instantly just floats to the bottom again. Alright. That's definitely better than the rum by itself, but it has this very distinct artificial flavor. And I don't know if I like it. I did stir it. I did, but I don't have a spoon. I did my best, okay? They say Valley Girl Evie, you know who I miss? Fake Out Evie got the sunnies on it when it's on in public. I should do more videos like that. Those were fun. I just don't know what I would do at this point if I did another video like that I haven't already done before. It needed to be pre-shaken ideally, but it was too late. You're right. I didn't do that. This also isn't even real eggnog, so I think that might also be affecting some things in this. Okay, I feel like it's a lot better looking now. Like, it kind of looks more like one solid color as opposed to, like, one thing layering on top of the other. It does not taste very nice. It has a very, again, a distinct artificial flavor I can't place, but it is technically a beverage. All right, let's look for another question. It has not been good for Balenciaga. The more they push it, the more will go under. I don't know what that means. That's like a normal day on TV and art to me. Listen, I remember DeviantArt back in the day when if you went to recent uploads, it was nothing but fucking Sonic pornography. You're right. I forgot about DeviantArt. How dare I? Nothing but people's fucking wolf OCs and Naruto and Sonic porn. Is there usually an initiation process to enter into the lifestyle? I don't want to say that's not. Depends on what you mean by initiation process. I just had vegan eggnog with alcohol. It works fine if you stir well. Maybe it could just be this particular eggnog that I have. I'm not McLovin' it, to be honest. I'm definitely not McLovin' it. Alright, so is there an initiation process for entering into BDSM? No. Anyone who wants to say they're doing BDSM can do BDSM, and we cannot control them. In a local community, you may be required to, for example, take a consent class first, go to an orientation event before you can become a member of a local organization. I imagine that is not what you have in mind when you say, is there an initiation thing you have to do? That would be the closest. I am sure that there are certain maybe more private or selective BDSM groups that require a little bit more of an intensive, maybe, process. But I can't name any specific venues or organizations or membership clubs where they have a hazing or something, or have a trial or a test of some description. I have read, in the quest to find a decent BDSM erotica, I have read quite a few BDSM erotica where there is some kind of initial trial or test for the main character to do if they want to join a dungeon or become a house submissive or be assigned a dominant, where they get tested by like a panel of dominants to see if they're really actually submissive or not. And I think that's a popular trope because it's like a good initiation point, and you get to really see like, oh, is the main character gonna make it? Sort of this, it's an interesting little point. It's an interesting little nugget. And that I have not seen ever done in real life. But it is a popular trope in erotica, I think. You should go to a Rocky Horror Picture Show screening and do your virgin ritual. That's the initiation process /S. Yeah, exactly. After you've done that, you're officially a card-carrying member of the kink community for sure. They could be referring to vetting. I don't know. They said, is there usually an initiation process to enter into the lifestyle? And so that to me does not sound like vetting. That just sounds like, what do I have to do to join? Because as I've talked about in the most recent video, BDSM is not an exclusive club that you have to, do all this, have to be a super special cool person to be able to join. Anyone can join. And yeah. Okay, what am I doing? I don't know. Sorry, I got distracted for a second. I used to use Neopets back in 2001 or so. I mean, that was like peak Neopets. Neopets is still around though, if you want to go check it out. It's not as good as it used to be, but it is still there. I studied Christian history. Christians could learn a lot about submission from BDSM. They truly could, Joseph. They truly, truly could. Have you much experience with the group Lobus on FET? I did my first needle scene last weekend. 55 18 gauge needles for your first needle scene? Wow, Joe. Fucking killing it over there. I think I did like 3 needles for my first scene because it was like basically a tasting. Fucking good job, Joe. Hell yeah. Not that it's a competition. If you want to do 55 needles, go for it. If you want to do 2 needles, fucking go for it. It's not a competition, my dudes. Do whatever level of intensity and length of scene feels right to you. But fucking let's go, Joe. Let's fucking go. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Super cool, Joe. Okay, answer the subspace question. I'm wondering if you give me pointers on going to a meet and greet on FetLife. Oh, a meet and greet. Okay, I feel like I did answer that. I feel like okay, camera? I swear to Jesus H. Roosevelt Christ, to quote Claire Fraser, if you don't stop not focusing on me, I will discipline you, camera. All right. Okay, I think I answered the question about like the meet and greet thing. It was like kind of the first answer I gave where it's like going to a public event. It really is just about being brave enough to go, honestly. That's really the main component of it. Anything after that is just you, honestly. Subspace is some kind of BDSM nirvana? I don't think so. I'm not sure though. This is absolutely true. It's harder to get into that space if you're expecting it. Yeah, exactly. How real do you think hypnosis is, either in a kink context or otherwise? I honestly don't know. I'm really not sure. I think I have not looked into any of the recent science on hypnosis. I think I am more likely to believe, of the varying degrees of how much you believe in hypnosis, that it works kind of as much as you believe in it that it works. Like, if hypnotherapy is helpful to you for like quitting smoking or drinking or something, for example, like a really practical real world application of it, it might just be like the idea that you got hypnotized giving you permission to not do the thing that you don't want to do anymore, like developing a new habit. I do think that people experience or can experience trance state because we experience trance state on like a day-to-day basis already in our minds. Whether or not you can prompt people to go into that with the methods that people generally use for hypnosis, I don't know. I have certainly seen... Okay. I'm going to try to not be judgmental about this, but I am, in fact, as we have already said, I am a hater-ass bitch. And so, there are some people that I think overstate the power of hypnosis. Like, oh my, bless these people. I would love to know where these individual people are now, because they were so lovely, but like what they told me, I had to like not cringe at a little bit. So once upon a time, I was at a BDSM party, and this is how it's cringy. I met a couple, and listen, no judgment because I am also on Reddit. Little bit of judgment, but like a normal, like not a hater ass bitch amount, just like a normal amount of hating. Just a normal amount of like a little bit of cringe, you know, not a terrible amount, just a little bit like, ooh, you know, just a little bit like, ooh, that's weird. That's, I don't know how I feel about that. That kind of level of cringe. Very mild level of cringe. I met a couple that met on a BDSM subreddit in real life. Fascinating stuff. And the fucking guy kept telling me, and they'd been doing BDSM for all of 2 seconds. They'd been doing BDSM for like a month. I don't know. I remember it being a short amount of time. I don't want to misstate how much it was, but I remember it being a short amount of time. And they were like, yeah, we have all this protocol, and like I have all this hypnosis like triggers that I have her under, and so every morning when she wakes up, she's hypnotized into thinking that she has pierced nipples uh and a VCH piercing, and that she's nude even when she's not, and just like fill in 20 different things like that with like, oh yeah, and she has like a slave barcode, and she's wearing a collar even when she's not, and just 30, just like a list, just do a whole, give your a list in your mind of like 20 different things that he hypnotized this person into apparently believing on a daily basis, and that she had a trigger where every morning she'd wake up and she'd feel like that or something. Like it was something to that effect, and I was just like, you were literally 20 years old. You are like 19 years old and 20 years old, and I'm sure you all feel that way. But to me, and again, I am a hater ass bitch. I am a little bit judgmental because I do not understand how these things would work for me. Like, because it's weird, because I didn't know, like, are you, like, it was, because it kind of came up, like, out of nowhere. Like, I'm like, why are we, like, I don't need to know every single thing that you hypnotize this person into believing. And, like, it kind of came across as a little bit braggy, and I was like, I don't know why you gotta prove yourself to me. Like, I'm just a person that's here. Why do you need my approval for your hypnosis-based MS relationship? You know what I mean? And then at some, like, you know, it just kind of gives me the same vibes of somebody who's like, I don't know, just like somebody who has like an online-only MS relationship, and just like they tell somebody about it every opportunity, and I'm like, I don't know why you gotta prove this to me, you know? Like, are you proving it to me or proving it to yourself? I don't know. I am in the metaverse. Anyways, I don't know. I feel like hypnosis is probably a degree of real. I think what people are able to achieve with hypnosis is probably at least a little bit based on like the other participant kind of being willing and playing along with it to a certain extent. And if they're not, it's not going to work as well. IMO. I don't really know, honestly. Like, I haven't done enough hypnosis myself to really have like a solid conclusion about it. That's just sort of my thoughts. And I think some people who do hypnosis can be kind of cringe about it and be like, oh my god, look at all this insane BDSM stuff I could do with just my mind. Like, that's how it comes across, is like, I can do the most intense BDSM ever and like give somebody 30 orgasms just with my mind. And I'm like, I don't care if you can give somebody 30 orgasms with your mind. I have a vibrator. Why, like, this isn't a competition, my dude. Everyone here, 30, like, there's 50 people at this party. 10 of them own a Sipient. I don't know what you're being competitive about. Like, why does it matter? Why do I need to know that information? That's what I'm thinking. Yeah. Hypnotism does work, but not on everyone. If you have a hyper-vigilant personality to danger because of abuse, it's not likely to work. Yeah, it's sort of like what I've heard before. Oh my god, we only have 5 minutes left? What the frick? What the frick? Gall, darn it, garnet. Alright, let's see if we can answer some more questions here. What? Joseph? FetLife tends to be a hookup site from what I found? I don't know what fucking part of FetLife you're on, but FetLife is like the anti-hookup site. You want kinky hookups? Go on Field. If you want to do anything other than a hookup, go on FetLife. That's wild. I've never known anyone to ever find a hookup through FetLife. I know that I don't believe you. I'm just saying they are explicitly not designed to work as a hookup site. And so, no. I'm gonna say no to that one. I'm gonna say no to that. Where does time go, indeed? Where does time go, indeed? I study psychology and I believe hypnosis is very real but greatly misunderstood. It is not like mind control like TV portrays, but it does exist, more like meditation, etc. Yeah, that's more the vibe I was getting. Not that it's like some sort of crazy thing that you can control somebody's entire brain with, but it's sort of like it works, but not maybe as much or like to the extent that people think that it works, you know? Yeah. Okay, I think we answered the question of like what subspace feels like. Oh, good question, Ember. Do you have any recommendations on staying warm as a submissive who chills easily and is usually unclothed during a scene without overheating my dom? Wear socks. I'm not kidding you. That's not a joke answer. Wear socks. I am somebody that is also very cold sensitive. I much prefer to be warm. Most of my dominant partners prefer to be cooler and prefer a cooler home or space than I do. Socks actually helps a lot because you lose most of your heat from your head and from your feet. So if you can wear like a cute little hat with like maybe little cat ears on it, or like cute thigh highs, or like cute wool socks, or leg warmers, or cute little like crew socks, even like whatever goes with your aesthetic, really. Like find something that fits like the role play vibe, like fits your vibe, your scene vibe. That can be a really good way of like, even if you are staying naked otherwise, being a little bit warmer without being unclothed. You can also, if you're doing something where you're standing at like a St. Andrew's cross or like a spanking bench, even like especially a spanking bench, if you, I'm assuming you're doing this at home, maybe you're like maybe at like a friend's house or something, that you can't do this as easily at like an actual dungeon. But if you have access to like a clothing dryer, before you get started, like pop your blanket or like a sheet or something in the dryer on high for like 20 minutes before the scene starts, and then put like the warm blanket down over the spanking bench or whatever it is you're going to use for the scene, and then like lay down on top of that. That's a really good way to stay warm. And also, even if you can't like warm it up in the dryer, having a blanket or like layers on top of the equipment you're using can help you feel a little bit warmer. Or you can even do like a heating pad or something too. Like you could do like a heating pad under a blanket, or you could do like a heating pad, on the floor under your feet. If you're like getting like, if the dungeon floor is like a solid wood or like a concrete floor, see if you can have some kind of like heating pad or something. Because even if you're doing like a really long scene, even just having your partner like put a warm blanket over you during part of the scene, or put a heating pad over your shoulders or something for even just like a couple minutes in like the middle of a scene, just to make sure your like body temperature's in a good place, that can be really helpful. Thank you, Evie, for your funny eggnog moments in the stream. Wish your family well. Have a great Christmas day. Yeah, you too. Thanks for being here. I think I have time for one more question, so let's do that. Um, Hopefully that answer helped. Okay, this is like a longer question, so let's like hold on to our fucking butts here for a second. 2 weeks ago, oh no, wait, is this? Okay, no, this is the beginning. 2 weeks ago, we talked about how relatively vanilla people will use "my cishet partner put his hand on my throat during PIV sex" as foundation to describe themselves as kinky despite otherwise being vanilla, and you explained how it should be dove into deeper. But I was wondering if day callers could be considered kinky based on the mindset behind the action, while otherwise being vanilla. Wouldn't this action technically make them kinksters? Where is the line between it's about the mindset versus this action is or is not kinky? I think callers are different because it's about the intention you put into an object of like reflecting a power exchange relationship. And so power exchange relationships come in so many different shapes and sizes, from caregivers to master slave to more general dom sub relationships, switch relationships that have power exchange in them. And because day callers are something you need to have or can find useful to have, and they're not necessary, you don't have to have one. They can be useful to have because it's something you want to have to symbolize your relationship that's like passable, in everyday vanilla life, but like otherwise in your actual kink relationship that you're doing outside of the vanilla eye, you are like following like kink community standards. You are maybe part of the BDSM community. Like you're doing things in like a kink contextual way, which includes the way that you're wearing and using a day collar. I realize, yeah, power exchange is kinky by definition. Exactly. There are some people who are like, not all power exchange is kinky. And I'm like, oh, so you mean sexism. Anyways. Yeah, you mean misogyny when women are inherently submissive to men. No. Whereas like putting a hand on the throat, I don't inherently consider kinky. And I have a video coming out about this soon because I recently discovered that there are some people who think there's like a huge dividing line between like, no, I don't do that weird BDSM stuff. I just do kink. And I'm like, I don't know anyone in the BDSM scene that makes a huge separation that way between BDSM and kink. And for the most part, we tend to use the terms interchangeably. So I find that idea really interesting that they could be like that level of different, you know? Where was I going with the end of this thought? So with something not necessarily being kinky. Oh, and again, oh God, I just slapped my elbow right down on my water bottle. That felt great. Non-consensual SM play with my water bottle, I guess. So I think that there's a difference between like being covert in like a kinky power exchange relationship in public, but then in private, all of the rest of it kind of follows like kink social norms and standards around negotiation and consent and all of that stuff, and like all of that, including like day callers and the way that you deal with them also being part of that, versus like just putting a hand on the throat and enjoying that. I don't think is inherently kinky because of one, how normalized it is, and also how separated it is from like kink community context and norms and mores and standards. Because when you wear a day collar, it's about the individuality that you put into the meaning of that, but everything else around it is like, including the use of the day collar, is very much embedded in the norm, standards, and mores of the kink scene. Whereas just putting a hand on the throat, I wouldn't consider that to be inherently a kink act in the same way that I don't consider anal sex to be kinky, or being a woman who enjoys sucking a man's dick to be kinky, or calling somebody daddy in bed to be kinky. Those are all things that can be done in a kinky way, but how you do them is more what makes them kinky, rather than them just being kinky on their face and like the context that you do them in. Because, and I talk about this in a video that's coming out soon, like there's the word daddy has become so normalized, and has been so normalized for a very long time, that it is essentially a nickname on the same level as baby or sweetheart or sweetie pie, right? Like it's just another endearing term for somebody you're in a relationship with and feel very emotionally close to, that doesn't necessarily have a kink vibe to it. You could call someone daddy and have it be like a 24/7 caregiver-based relationship, but it's not always that way, and just the word by itself I don't think is always kinky. Again, in the same way that like anal and oral are not always kinky. You can have oral or anal sex that is very kinky in the way that you do it, but those acts are so normalized and so mainstream that I wouldn't consider them like to be in the domain of BDSM necessarily anymore. Happy holidays. Thanks for all the content. Thank you so much, Nathan. I really appreciate that. I think I am probably going to wrap this up in a minute. I just want to make sure that I got all of my questions out there, like get my whole answer out there. I feel like that kind of covers it, like where the line is. But I can see that like line of questioning, right? And I totally get where you're coming from. I don't think that that's like silly or stupid. And maybe I'm not doing the best job of verbalizing this, but I just see somebody who is otherwise vanilla in every other respect, in terms of like how they negotiate, how they're mentally processing how they negotiate, but they're probably not negotiating at all. how they think about BDSM, because I find what ends up happening is people are okay with having a hand on the throat or whatever, and they think that's like fun and cool, but they don't think about what they're doing as like being kinky or being BDSM, and they actually have a level of disgust for other BDSM actions. And to me, that I think is like a really, really big tell for the mentality behind this and how kinky it actually is, because though there are a lot of judgmental kinky folk out there that are like, my one way of doing kink is the only correct way and everyone else is doing it wrong and blah blah blah, and they think they should just be able to dictate what everyone else's relationships look like. If you think that your individual thing you do in the bedroom is kinky, and this is also why I have a problem with this, is if we think about BDSM as being inherently tied to rough sex, and rough sex acts being kinky, and that being like the access point. I think that sort of misunderstands BDSM as like being about rough sex acts, which is not really what it is. So yeah, I think it's different to like enjoy, like I would consider hand on the throat to be like a rough sex thing. And rough sex things can be done in a BDSM way, but not every rough sex act is inherently kinky or makes you kinky just because you do it. Like, if you enjoy being fucked really hard, but everything else you do is vanilla and there's no power exchange, no bondage, no fetish stuff going on, no role play, whatever else, I don't really think that makes you kinky. That just means you like rough sex. And that should be fine. Liking and enjoying rough sex, regardless of your gender, regardless of what kind of sex you enjoy having, that should be normalized. That should be fine. You should be able to be empowered in your enjoyment of that thing and feel like you can negotiate with a partner and talk to your partner about your enjoyment of that. But just enjoying rough sex things, whether that be, I like a hand on the throat, I like having my hair pulled, I like being spit on, I like when he fucks me really hard and rams my cervix. I like when he fucks me in the ass really hard. Or I like it when whatever, you know. Like, those aren't kinky things. Those are rough sex things. And some rough sex things can become kink things when done in that context, in that way, with that mentality. But they're not always that way. Does that make sense? Jillian Keenan has a really good video that discusses the use of daddy. Jillian Keenan's fucking awesome, and I will totally look that up later because that's great. All right, everyone. I think that is going to be it for tonight. Thank you all so much for being here. Oh, you guys want to say, I should, okay, Bandita. Once again, Bandita. Bandita Parita. Mi paparita. Mi paparita. Mi paparita. Good girl. Yes. Oh, we rub it over. We're going a little belly rub. Hi, sweetie. Hi, good girl. Oh, come here, baby. Come here, sweetheart. Come here. Hi. I will pet you so much. I promise. Hi. I will pet you until the end of time. My sweetie baby. Look at you. Look at the little tail go. Look at that tail. Look at that tail. Oh, look at that tail. No, sweet girl. Are you going to lick my face? Don't lick it. It's probably not good for you. My sweetie pie. Yes. Finally, this is over. That was brutal. All right, Savio, you don't have to be on my channel. Go find a different streamer to watch. I'm the hater ass bitch. You don't get to be a hater ass bitch. Not on my channel. Oh, bye, Savio. Thanks for your contribution. Yes, thank you. Don't let the door hit you on the way out. Don't ruin the cute Paparino vibes. Look at her. Look at the little Paparino. Look at my little Paparino. ¿Qué tal? ¿Qué tal? She's so sleepy and so cute. Look at her, so soft. So soft, you're a good girl. You smell like fish. You smell like Chinese food shrimp is what you smell like. I don't know what that means. Look at this little sweetheart. Look at this little sweetheart. So sweet, so beautiful. All right, my sweetheart. You are going to get all the pets in the world just for you. Yeah, he's a good little Bobby. Are you my little Bobby? Are you little Bobby? Yes, little Bobby. I call her Bobby because that's how I combined baby and puppy together, and I call her Bobby. Are you little puppy? Are you my little puppy? Yes. Look at that tail go. Look at the little Bobby. So cute. So beautiful. So precious. So wonderful. So sweet. Such a beautiful girl. Such a beautiful girl, little Bandita. Little Bandita, yes, so sweet. She's a snuffleupagus, yes. All right, sweetheart. Oh, you're so sweet. Okay, me and little sweetheart are gonna go downstairs and we're gonna watch an episode of Outlander and probably fall asleep on the couch. So have a good night, everyone. Stay safe. If you are in an area with freezing weather, don't forget to leave your tap dripping. Cover your doors and windows with extra blankets if you have any to help with insulation. Stay safe. Don't drive unless you absolutely have to. Have a very, very Merry Christmas. Have a very, very wonderful Hanukkah if you are celebrating Hanukkah. And I will see you all soon, possibly tomorrow if my Christmas is being delayed. If not, I will see you all very soon, and I will talk to you later. Bye. One last camera defocus, just for the lulz, I suppose. All right.